Chapter 131. It was amazing. One minute you thought you had the worst problem imaginable. The next, those problems paled by comparison to new ones. Larson's financial worries were far from his mind when he got the call. The police wanted him to come in and talk. Chapter 132. I'm sorry, Miss Blake. I didn't get your message until this morning. Elisa realized that most people did not get apologies from doctors who hadn't returned non-emergency phone calls made after office hours only the night before. That was the power of Kineas. Phone calls were returned promptly. She described her phone call with Samuel to Dr. Lieber. I'm not a psychiatrist, Miss Blake, but it sounds like your friend definitely needs some help. Would you like me to have someone here to call him? Elisa waited the offer. Was she doing this out of guilty? Will Samuel be angry with her? That shouldn't matter to her if his well-being hung in the balance. But he made shut down totally, feeling aliened that she had broken his trust. She wasn't sure what to do. She wanted to do something to help him. Yes, Dr. Lieber, Alisa decided. I think that may be a good thing. I can get through to him. Samuel's phone call came that afternoon. I know what you're trying to do, Elisa. I know what you mean well. But please forget about me. We can be friends. Not now. Anyway, I have to move forward alone for a while. Chapter 133. Mischief Night at Cabbage Night, whatever it was called, the night before Halloween brought out adolescents eager to have what they considered harmless fun, decorating their neighborhoods with bars of soap, smashed eggs, and toilet tissue. A group of teenagers made its way along Larson's Richards Street, soaping up the windows of cars stupidly left in driveways. If we owners weren't smart enough to put their cars away tonight, they deserved to come out in the morning to find their wine shelves a mess. There was no car in Larson Richards' driveway, and the house was completely dark. The kids snickered as they ran up to the sprawling ranch. It was easy to soap every single window when they were all on one floor. They proceeded sneakily on the next house, unaware that a Mercedes Benz was idling in Larson's closed garage, carbon monoxide filling the passenger cab. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Chapter 134. Jenny hopped out of bed on Halloween morning, eager to go to school in her olive oil costume. Susan and Mr. Garcia will take the kids around trick or treating in the afternoon. Alisa promised her daughter that she would get home as quickly as she possibly could after work so they could give out the candy together to the nighttime trick or treaters. Doris had outdone herself again this year. She had spent hours painstakingly taping long, thin adhesive strips to a black tunic and skirt. Then she had carefully measured and marked boxes along the tape, numbering the corners of some of the boxes with a fine typed pen. She had bought a pair of inexpensive black sunglasses and painted sporadic squares on them with white soot. She used her expert skills coating her face with white pancake and drawing, with the help of a ruler, horizontal and vertical lines. She donned a pair of black opaque tights and pulled her following mane of hair up into a ponytail, tying it with a man's tie, a tie printed in the design of a crossword puzzle, the inspiration for her costume. She left her apartment early, bound for the ABC studio. The Regis producers loved her costume and wanted her to come inside and be on the show. But she couldn't win a prize. They earned her, since she had won last year. Boomer. Doris headed for the broadcast center early, anticipating the reaction she would get there. Florence Anderson awoke before dawn and lay alone in her bed. It was the day she dreaded all year long. The first year after Linda's death, she hadn't even been able to open her door to the children who came beginning. The next year, she had managed to give out packages of M&Ms without nuts. Those had been Linda's favorites. Now, and every year since, a big bowl full of chocolate candy package sat ready to the table in the foyer. Life had to go on. And maybe, just maybe, Florence allowed herself to hope the piece that was scheduled to her on tonight's key evening headlines may jog someone's memory and led to someone closer to the pain she had been with for living with for the past 5 years. Chapter 135. Kane called from the editing booth. It's done. Do you want to come down and see it? Sure, I'll be right there, answered Elisa. She took the stairs down, 2 floors to the Hard News Editing Center, passing half a dozen small rooms with sliding glass doors until she reached Joe Landon's booth. Kane got up and offered her his chair. Are you happy with it? She asked as she took the seat. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. She what See what you think, Kane said. He stood at the back of the booth and began whining at his thumbnail as Letting hit the play button. The piece opened with a clip of Linda Anderson wrapping up the last new broadcast she ever anchored. Then Alice's narration began. Linda Anderson did not know, as she signed off from the Garden State Network on the night before Halloween 5 years ago, that it would be her last time reporting from the anchor chair. She thought she had everything to look forward to. Mr. Anderson's careworn face appeared on the screen. People said that when you met Linda, you felt you knew her. That came across on TV as well. Indeed, the audience responded to Linda Anderson. Alice's track continued. She had a loyal following in New Jersey, and there was interest on the other side of Hudson River as well. Soundbite Florence Anderson and Agin had approached her and submitted her audition tape, and there was actually an interview set up. Linda was so excited about the possibility of going to work for one of the big networks. Elisa's voice picked up the story, but Linda Anderson never went for that network interview. After she finished her late broadcast, she left the studio and was never seen again. Florence Anderson. In the beginning, the police went all out. They searched everywhere, interviewed people who knew her, questioned all friends, spoke to her coworkers. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson's voice was still heard, but file tape of pictures was edited over to illustrate her new words. The story was on the Garden State Network every night. People tied yellow ribbons around trees. There was a reward offered for information, but nobody came forward with anything. But if you ask me, as time went on, the police gave up. That's a charge the police deny, narrated Lisa. Linda Anderson's file is still open here and will be until this case is solved, said a detective Kane had interviewed at the police station. There's a national preoccupation with celebrity in this country, and though we've searched and investigated every possible lead. The fact is that anyone with a television set could have targeted Linda. That's a pretty broad range of suspects. That was the end of the edited package. Kane handed Elisa the script she was to read on camera. Coming out of the piece. Before she disappeared, Linda Anderson told her family and friends that she thought she was being followed. Stalking is illegal in all 50 states, and while it is the celebrity stalkings that receive media coverage, the most common victims are not news reporters or movie stars. The largest number of stalking victims are ordinary people on whom another person, for whatever reason, becomes fixated. The advice from law enforcement professionals: if you met someone who makes you feel uncomfortable, act on your feelings. Get away from that person and break off any future contact. What do you think? Asked Kane. It's good, Kane. I just wish we had a little more time to tell the story in greater depth. Believe it or not, Range wanted us to edit out 10 or 15 seconds. I told him there was nothing left to cut. Elisa nodded. She well understood the executive producer's preoccupation with time. Nice job, Joe. She complimented the editor as she rose to leave. Elisa noticed the box that contained Linda Anderson's audition tape lying on the console table. She picked it up. Can I take this with me? She asked. I'd like to take a look at it. It was eerie how much Linda reminded Elisa of herself.